We're in Newcastle, England to learn about the art of wheelchair racing and a unique competition on the sporting calendar.
The Tunnel 2K is such an exciting race for us wheelchair racers because there's nothing like it in the world. It's the shortest race that we do on the road, but it's the toughest, definitely. With 1K going downhill, you can be hitting up to 50 miles an hour. You've got to make sure that everything's done up tight, you know, you make sure you've got the right tyres on because you don't want a tyre to blow halfway down, you know, it's quite dangerous. So you have to make sure everything's in good order and checked before you go down that race. But the toughest bit is obviously the hill because of the percent of the gradient is quite tough, and you know, we haven't got gears, so our arms are gears, so it does get tiring after a while.
Psychologically, coming up the tunnel, there's a bend, so you can't really see the finish. So it feels like you're going in circles for ages until you see the open mouth of the tunnel coming out. It's just persevering and keeping up the proper tempo.
By the end of it, your arms are like lead and your lungs are pretty much out your chest burning. So it's great fun though. I really enjoy doing it because of the speeds we hit going down the hill.
Well, obviously the goal is always winning. David's won a few times, I've won it a few times. So it'll be an interesting battle. We've been training this week and he's pushing well and I'm pushing well, and you know, we're just giving everything and have a fun time.
Ahead of the race, Canadian Josh Cassidy joined Great Britain's 6-time Paralympic gold medalist David Weir for a week of intensive training. The 30-year-old spent years refining his chair's configuration, constantly tweaking until he finds the perfect balance between comfort and efficiency.
It's really a whole career journey trying to perfect the chair. 2 years ago, I kind of went through a lot of changes and started really experimenting stuff in an off year after the London Paralympics to try and see if I could make some leaps instead of steps. Looking ahead, no major changes will really happen. It's just going to be sticking with pretty close to what I've got and focusing on the other elements of training. The chair measurements are all specific to that person, from the hip width to the knee length to how high the seat is on the axle. Pretty much all the guys are pushing on carbon fiber discs, and then the push ring is a ring that's coated in rubber that's fastened to the disc. Basically, it's like a punching action. The idea is you're hitting the wheel rather than grabbing it because the wheel is going so fast, you're just trying to keep the momentum going. You're wanting to come down and then off the bottom of the ring, and so it looks almost like you're doing half of a butterfly stroke in swimming. Generally, people are 10, 11, 12, 13 degrees of camber on the back wheels. It's not for aerodynamics, it's for lowering the center of gravity to be able to take the turns. The straighter the wheels, the faster there will be because there will be less drag and resistance. But the wheels that are straight, they're going to roll as soon as you hit a turn or a bend. I'm using a carbon fiber seat, or people have aluminum seats, to make sure that there's no movement in the chair that isn't energy loss, because as soon as you're putting everything into the chair, that's all transferred directly to the chair and you don't want it absorbed by anything that's not contributing to that forward motion. These are the racing gloves. Everyone's are unique based on their style of push and their technique and obviously their hand size. The gloves are made out of plastic, sheets of plastic, which you put in boiling hot water, you put your hand in freezing cold water to take the pieces, and you're basically molding them piece by piece, the handles, the thumbs, the fingers. It's quite a process and it takes quite a bit of time to mimic these. So even though they look like garbage, these are prized possessions that I carry with me wherever I go because they're a nightmare to try and reproduce.
With final checks and preparations completed on his chair, Cassidy's focus can turn to competing in the Tunnel 2K.
You just focus, running the pre-visualization through your head of what's coming up, and you know, trying to stay relaxed but equally fired up and get ready to give everything once you get on the line.
Recovering from a difficult start, Cassidy took the lead mid-race, but the effort exerted in this section left his training partner Weir with more in the tank to power through to the uphill finish. A solid second-place finish for the Canadian left him optimistic and motivated to continue on his quest for improvement.
Dave climbed incredibly well today, so I feel like I could have done it better for myself, but I'm still excited to do lots more work.